Coming up on this program, we show you how to get connected. Find out how to choose an internet service provider. Discover the newest form of communication, electronic mail.
Ways down and ready to ride. One by one, billion by billion, been holding up half the sky. Raise your hand if you're ready and willing, if you know it's time. Time for a girl on time. Time for a girl on time. Time for
Hello, everybody. And John, you know what? I'm glad you mentioned that because it brings me to my first point tonight. The fact is, no, Vicky will never kick you out of here. Neither will Cellulite Yoga Pants or any other mod in this room. This room is different than others. If we're live, I'm here. And I'm the main mod. I'm the only lady that gets to decide if somebody gets kicked out. But I appreciate Vicky so much because she is so consistent with her support. She is always here welcoming people and very, very helpful to the channel. And so in that sense, she is an excellent moderator and helper for the chat. And so I think we can all agree that Vicky well deserves that. Here's the thing. Nobody's ever going to ask y'all to do any... It's not how we roll around here. I'm the sheriff in this town. And speaking of that, Mike, I saw that you were here, and I want to point something else out. I was a kid who had undiagnosed neurospicy, let's call it, ADHD. And what I found really difficult is when people brought up, something when I may have been gone for a while. And it's the first thing they talked about. I'm just saying, I think this is a place where you can leave and come back and you are not going to be rebuked. We don't sleep shame, we don't slut shame, we don't kink shame, and we don't break shame. If for some reason you need to take some time away, remember, that's okay. And I would urge us not to ask too many questions, rather to welcome with open arms. That's my theory. Not that anybody did anything wrong. I want that to be the vibe here. I have done it many times in my life where I've fucked off for whatever of the reasons. And then it's hard to come back sometimes. So remember that we always love you. And you're welcome here every time. And we don't kick people out. We don't block people. But even if we did, I've already developed a mechanism for that because I'm weird. So if for some reason you were blocked, there is an appeal every quarter via a Discord message. So regardless, it's never had to be invoked, but the process is there. Anyways, I hope everybody's doing really well. I have been vibing all day in a couple different ways. I hope that you're all doing well. I know that some people are feeling sick right now. I know the weather has hit people hard. I know you won't, Vicky. And I really appreciate everybody for, you know what's so funny? You can't see it over here, but in the regular chat, Streamlabs, the one person I blocked, if you know, you know. If you know, you know. Anyways. Streamlabs just pointed out, we do we don't kink shame around here. And again, we don't sleep shame. We don't do a bunch of those things. But we will razz the fuck out of you, because that's just the way it is. We razz the fuck out of everybody. Oh, we'll razz the fuck out of me. Anyways. So thank you so much for being here. I'm in my main living room where I keep the library books and the ladder and the lounges. It's the L room. Casey Carey, hello, hello, hello. What else is in here? The lamps and lights and little things. Lots of L words exist in the room about me. Oh, one day. Anyways, your whole household is sick. I've heard about this, Rose. And I made homemade chicken noodle soup, humble brag, last week. Like, I made the stock, and then I made the soup. But that's besides the point. Nobody was sick. It was wasted upon us healthy people. But it got eaten up. Not a drop was wasted. You know how rare that is in a household where I cook a lot? So, and I have ADHD, so I tend to get distracted, like right now when I remembered about my stuff I wanted to show you guys. Brooklyn, hi. I don't think we have a divorce tonight, Brooklyn, but we are heading over to a, I wish I was an actress as good as that was fake, but that was me in real time realizing something I want to show you guys and fighting the urge to run, to get up and run to get it. I have to put on the show first. We have to do that. I would love to hear what you guys had for dinner tonight. If you didn't like what you had for dinner, go ahead and tell me what you wish you had for dinner. Also, tell me why I should not cut all my hair off by myself with very little training. Somebody put that in there for me, because the only thing I seem to be good at is growing hair.
Hello, Judge. How are you?
Hey,
Doing what?
ma'am, you need to wait your turn. Jesus fucking Christ. Girl. Oh. By cut my hair off, I mean like this. I guess that's like a third, 2/3 of my hair. 2/3 of my hair cut off and bare. You guys, I promise you, I cut that much in 2021. I cut that much in 2021. My sister goes, "How do you fucking grow your hair so much?" I said, "You know how? You know how? I'll tell you the fucking secret." Do you know what the secret is? I wash it less than I care to admit. And I never blow dry it. I never heat treat it. I don't do anything to it. I literally don't do anything to it. I barely brush it. I did not brush it before this show. Anyways, let's get watching this before I admit to anything else. While I go get my fun things that I got. Also, I've been thinking about it for fucking ever. My hair grows really fast because I don't fuck with it. It's just this fucking straight and long. That's out of control. Look how long it is. That's my waist. That's my low waist. Anyways, okay. Also, I want to point out that I spent a very short amount of time looking for a different, you guys, I promise, I look good with short hair and long hair. I look good with all the types of hair. Okay, let's just start. I wouldn't even know how to blow dry my hair, to be honest. Or straighten it. I wish I could say that I had straightened my hair, but I haven't. Yeah, Courtney, the problem is when I pull my hair back at its highest point on my head, it still gets stuck. Paul, welcome back. Don't say anything about it, guys. Paisley, shut up. Okay.
Hello, Judge. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. Hey, Milton, ACDC, you back?
ACDC never left, Judge. ACDC never fucking left. Okay? Know that.
Milton.
I'm calling Judge.
Milton! Judge is calling you. Can you imagine getting a phone call from Judge Alex Manning? Hey, Milton. I actually know a YouTuber, very famous guy, who
Judge,
got...
she's still pulling that female.
Judge,
inmate.
hey, y'all. Who got a fucking email from Judge Manning, if you can believe that. I believe it. Hashtag life goals. Hashtag amazing.
What's that?
Excuse me, Lieutenant Conklin, she's still pulling that female inmate.
Oh, okay. Let's see who we got in.
I
who's
said-
in this other one here.
Well,
I'm
there she
here,
is,
Your
I
Honor.
believe. Okay.
Oh, okay. You got her, Milton?
Yeah. Oh,
No, I said hashtag life goals, hashtag amazing about a famous YouTuber that got an email from a judge. This cool judge.
just stay right here. Step back a little bit.
All right, Bostic, this will be position 7, Tatiana Hargett.
Tatiana, what did we think Tatiana looks like? Is that Tatiana up there? Damn it. Tatiana! I was definitely looking for a Russian ballerina.
Ready, Bostic?
1 second on that. Let me see if something pulls up for that.
You have good news for me today, Bostic. I already know it.
Always great news.
Yeah.
Oh, one of our
Always.
last times being together in this court.
I know. It's delightful.
I had the best news possible, I think.
I am like this when I work places. I am
Let's
very
see.
positive. I
Of
can
course.
move mountains. Judge
That
is.
is
What are you
beating down.
drinking, Judge?
In the rain so I can get with you guys after being.
Okay, we have to talk about something for a wee moment. My little Canadian ass. Oh, I gotta go get the thing. But here, first of all, this is new. This is Judge Manning doing her ORCA hearings, I think. Secondly, get with is not a phrase used in Canada. At least in my part of Canada. It would be inappropriate. It would be inappropriate to use in an informal setting, likely. Somebody might look at you a little strange. They'd be like... Now, if you were Texan, they would say, do what now? But we're not, so they would say, I beg your pardon? Or, excuse me? And they would reply, can you get with me about XYZ? It's just not a thing that Canadians in my part of Canada say, at least. it's something I've only ever heard in like southern courts, and the fact that I hear it in court tells me it's ubiquitous throughout southern culture, because it's it's appropriate enough to say in court, because I've heard judges actually order it. I've heard judges say things like, I'm ordering you to get with Miss Smith about this thing. Okay, I'm gonna go get my specialty items.
Keep up.
Of course. Nothing like doing first appearance and then rushing to get here.
Exactly.
You're a civil servant. My hero.
I think she has no prior arrest, but
Right. Here we go. Number 7, 24 PI 003014, Tatiana Hargett. It's 199 days without indictment. There's $975,000 good bond as of August the 27th. Criminal attempt to commit a felony,
Pause,
ag assault,
Judge.
cruelty to
Okay, hold on. Somebody needs to keep track. Can somebody in the chat please put in how many days without indictment? I want to start tracking this. Please and thank you. They're called the magic words. Use them in the morning and day and night, because it's a great way to be polite.
children in the first, possession of a knife or a firearm during the commission of an. Thank you, Bob.
of course. Nothing like doing first appearance and then rushing to get here.
Exactly.
You're a civil servant. My hero.
I think she has no prior arrest, but
Right. Here we go. Number 7, 24 PI 003014, Tatiana Hargett. It's 199 days without indictment. There's $975,000 good bond as of August the 27th. Criminal attempt to commit a felony, ag assault, cruelty to children in the first, possession of a knife or a firearm during the commission of or attempt to commit certain felonies. 5 counts of criminal attempt to commit a felony, and 5 counts of ag assault. Rah.
yes, no prior arrest history on Miss Hargett.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Beck.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Target, as you have mentioned, has been in for 199 days without indictment. This reminds me of this time last year where we would be sitting here with a calendar full of people of 199 days without indictment. We're in 2024 now, still have someone sitting in jail without indictment and without a bond that they cannot afford. Ms. Target is
Ma'am, your mic drop moment. We're in 2025. It's even worse. It's 2025. Boom. Also, I love that she said you're a civil servant. My hero. Oh, Lord.
23 years old. The address that is on file is still a good address for her. She is a lifelong resident of the state. Most of her family live here in the state. I have been in contact with most of her family. In fact, I shared the Zoom link with some of them, and they should be on the Zoom as well. They're fully in support of Ms. Hargett. Prior to her arrest, she was working at State Farm. So just to reiterate, that was 199 days ago that she was working at State Farm as an underwriter. She had had that job for 2 years. She is a high school graduate. She got a 3.9 GPA in high school. And then for college, she has a BS from Georgia State. She's a very smart young lady. She has been receiving some mental health treatment while at the jail, which has significantly helped her position. I mean, she's at 199 days to improve her condition because it's been so long. We're asking for a bond not to exceed $100,000. Last time we were on this, last time Ms. Hargett was on this calendar, the state made a big fuss about the charges, the allegations, all of the above. Obviously, it was not as significant or extreme or dangerous as they purported, because here we are 90 days later. She's still not indicted. They were making all kinds of allegations, they were rambling a lot about how horrible of a person Ms. Hargett was. They did not think that she was horrible enough to indict. For that reason, Your Honor, we are asking for a very significant decrease in bond. We are asking for a bond not to exceed $100,000 across all of her charges. And the state can always choose to indict. I actually know for a fact that the grand jury is in session right now. They could have done it this entire week. They chose not to.
And it's fucking true. Fulton County, get your shit together. Get your shit together. It's been years now that we have been watching this county fumble these cases. I'm not joking. It's a joke at this point. Fucking indict her or give her the lower bond. $100,000 is a huge bond still. MB, absolutely. I hope. I haven't watched this in a while. Oh Lord, please let me have picked the right side. It's a persuasive argument from Samantha, the public defender. Now, who is going to be arguing for the prosecution? That's the question. What the fuck was that guy's name that used to say the same shit over and over again, making the judge mad, making me mad? Ugh! It's old. It's like, it's so repetitive. You need to be on it here. This is people's lives. These are people that have not been convicted. This could be you. This could literally be you.
That would be our request, Your Honor.
All right. Go ahead, Mr. Jenkins.
Is there a motion to reduce bond before the court specifically?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Now, and I understand that there's a motion that's been filed under seal. And so is she even competent to participate in this motion hearing as
Yes,
we
she
speak?
is. Yes, she is. I've spoken with her personally.
Oh, you've spoken with her personally. Did
Indeed.
you file that motion
Yes,
under
I did.
seal, counsel?
Yes, I did.
All right. And her standing is, to this point, that she's competent to do so.
She has not been deemed incompetent.
Sir! Whoa! He came out of there swinging, MB. This is rude. Oh my god. I'm not ready for this. She's not incompetent. Didn't he... What, under what fucking grounds? And in that case... I honestly... Why... I guess I just didn't think it through. But my brain was like, oh, this will be a fucking breeze, Pays. We'll just go through some of these Manning hearings. It'll be a perfect Sunday afternoon. It'll be like a stroll. A stroll on Sunday. What does that say? I think it says we're 6 minutes in and I've yelled a lot already. Oh, this is reminiscent of OG Paisley when I used to get really riled up a lot.
So she knows what's happening at this stage. Whether or not she was competent at the time of the offense is the alleged offense is a different story. However, as it stands today, she is definitely competent to have this hearing. I can also assure you that staying at ACDC is not going to help her position of being competent or not competent.
The state still has not heard any facts in connection with the change in circumstance that would warrant. She has a bond. She unfortunately has not made that bond. It appears that she's being able to get some form of mental health treatment, which is a good thing at this point. And so without any change in circumstance or facts, we request that the defense counsel's motion be denied by the court in this case. The allegations, and there are merely allegations at this time, are quite significantly bad. And I believe that she is a danger and continues to be to the listed victims in this case and to law enforcement and those around her in connection with the general community. And as such, Judge, her bond is appropriate as it stands. Thank you.
Your Honor,
All
if I may.
Go ahead.
Thank you. There's actually no statute, and Your Honor, I'm not going to bore you because I know that I have gone down this rabbit hole with you before. There's no statute or law that requires a change in circumstance. That is just a really catchy phrase that somehow the state has grasped a hold of and started using in arguments that actually has no foundation in law that is required on our behalf. A $975,000 bond is essentially no bond. There is no person that qualifies for our services that could afford that. They would not qualify for our services if they could afford that. I could not afford that. It's absurd. These are, like Mr. Jenkins said, merely allegations, and yet here she is, been in for, I'll round up, 200 days with essentially no bond. Murderers that I have represented, alleged murderers and alleged rapists have not had this high of a bond. This is insane to have a bond this high and not indict. There's just absolutely no reason to have a bond that is so unaffordable for anyone in her situation without having done any movement on the case. Like, there's no reason that it should be still in this situation. If the state feels that she is a danger to the alleged victims, they should have indicted it in the last 199 days.
We got no drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons, no replicas of weapons. Stay away from 17 Brown Avenue. Before I put, for some reason, I'm putting here release to a program.
We would be asking for mental health treatment, but again, her family is very involved in this process and is willing to help. So I don't necessarily know if it has to be an inpatient treatment program, but just program of some sort for mental health.
Okay. No further contact with Markavian, Markeivon Alexander, Janae Cummings, Janae Cummings, Cummings, John Cox, Tarika Lasoida, Terricalasoita. They have a 24-hour curfew, court, lawyer, medical, employment, as long as you provide the name of your employer, proof of employment, schedule, and the exact location you'll be working, ma'am. Let's see, so I'll do 15,000, 50,000, 10,000, 25,000, 15,000, 15,000, 15,000, 15,000, 15,000, 50,000, 50,000.
Oh, it's so high. I was like, I got up over to 200,000. It's still so fucking big.
50,000, 50,000, 50,000. Let me say it again.
Yes, please.
15, 50, 10, 25, 15, 15, 15, 15, 15, 50, 50, 50, 50, and 50.
Got it. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Best of luck to you, ma'am. Thank you, ACDC.
May I be excused, Your Honor?
Yes, ma'am. Have a good evening.
Thank you, you too.
All right, let's see who we got in here. What about, so gentlemen, you need to raise your hand when I call your name, Jaquez Magsby. All right. Ms. Jones. All right, this is position 5, Bostic 23, CP 218815. 88 days without indictment as of May 26. There's a $23,000 good bond on burglary in the second degree, robbery by intimidation, theft by taking, misdemeanor. Pre-trial.
But in regards to Mr. McBee, 13 cycles, open misdemeanor 23, well, 1, 2, 3, open misdemeanors 23 CR 003644E, theft by shoplifting 23 CR 005200E, criminal trespass and simple assault 23 CR 005201E. Didn't write down what they're charged for, but it's a misdemeanor. FTA and 24, criminal trespass, probation, 2 counts, sentence 5/15/24 for 12 months. There's a forgery in the fourth in 2017. Took a first offender sealed for tools, sealed in 2017. There's a purchase, manufacturing, sale in 2009. Nothing further.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Jones.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Magsby is 32 years old. He's lived his entire life in Atlanta, as well as his entire family. He has 5 children. He graduated high school from Benjamin E. May.
5 children! In case she didn't say that loud enough for you, I just yelled it.
He was a landscaper prior to being arrested. And he also worked with Green in Youth. It's like an cultural organization. He has a good address and also 2 good references. I would like to get him through the bail project if possible. So we would just be requesting that his bond not exceed $5,000. I also want to say, he did already post bond, and it was, the bond company came off that bond. So our request is just, that it not exceed $5,000 so we can get him through the bail project.
Do you know why they came off his bond?
I believe it was the FTA's, it was failure to appear for fingerprinting.
Oh, okay. All right. Go ahead, Mr. Jenkins.
Thank you. Very briefly, it appears that he has, in addition to not complying with the court order and the um, obviously the circumstance of having the benefit of having a bond already, which had been surrendered, the fact that he has 3 open cases in state court, unless they have been resolved. And then I believe he has an open felony case here in Superior Court at 24 SC 001878. And the defendant essentially has bond already. And this is a request to reduce the bond that he already has. He unfortunately is not a proper candidate while having the the privilege of having a bond and being released, not complying with court orders, and while he has open cases in state court and superior court. He just simply is not a good candidate for a reduction in bond at this time, Judge.
Is he going to live in Fulton County, Ms. Jones?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons, no replicas of weapons. Stay away from 1396 Allegheny Street Southwest in Atlanta, Georgia. No further contact with Claudio, Claudio, last name Omar, Omar. You're going to have a 24-hour curfew, court, lawyer, and medical. That's the only reason you leave your house, sir. Court, lawyer, and medical. 9,000, 10,000, and 500. 9,000, 10,000, and 500. Best of luck to you, sir. You can leave the booth.
Leave the booth! These are my new sourdough because I'm becoming a sourdough master. If we recall, I am going to be a sourdough master. These are loaf rising bowls. They are silicone, food grade silicone, and they are also collapsible for storage. And this is a dough scraper with measurements on it in metric. And this is like a razor blade thing. And then I've also already used the little pastry brush and the whisk that came with it. I'm going to be a dough master. I'm going to be a sourdough connoisseur. Don't you worry. One day maybe I'll freeze dry it and send it to you. For a price, of course. No, but seriously, I'm working on catching local Vancouver Island yeast in my sourdough, creating a starter. I'm on my 3rd one. My roommate / ex-boyfriend asked, what happened to the first 2? I said, instructions unclear. Shut the fuck up. We're gonna do it this time. I have everything in line. Let's continue with this.
Quintavious Williams. Position 3, Bostic 24, PI 005981. 91 days without indictment. No bond as of 9/6/2024. Unlawful, knowingly remove, destroy, circumvent operation electronic monitoring device as required.
5 Cycles has 3 open cases assigned to Judge Edwards, 24 SC 001146, street gang, 3 counts, capital offense, criminal attempted felony, felony capital offense, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, 2 counts, firearm during Edwards, 23 SC 188924, street gang, 3 counts. I think that one is really the first one I just read, so I'm not going to read that one. They just re-indicted it. And then 23 CP 216201, theft by taking, nothing further.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Murray.
Thank you, Your Honor. Oops, something popped up on my computer, sorry. Mr. Williams is 20 years old. He has resided in Georgia his entire life and his whole family lives here. He has a good address residing in Atlanta, and he lives with his grandmother.
Hold on, ma'am. I just want to point out if somebody could put exclamation mark. Oh, I don't know if the new link is in there. Maybe it is. Anyways, exclamation mark links. I put a sourdough cookbook in my Amazon wish list. I might just find out. Honestly, it feels like to buy a Kindle is the same fucking price as buying a single book. Isn't that crazy? It might be links, Vicky, but thank you so much. Wrench looks good on you. For those of you, again, I just want to point out something. All my mods are great for each of their individual reasons. And we operate very differently around here than we do in other places. But I really do appreciate Vicky is so fucking consistent with commenting. And it makes me happy every single time I see it. So I just thank you so much, Miss Vicky, and I really do appreciate you. And I want you guys to know that it's not always about money necessarily. It is also about just everybody, being around. So I appreciate each and every one of you for all of the unique things that you bring to our little family. And each of us pitches in where we can. And I know that to be true because if somebody has a problem, you bring it here and we will crowdsource the fucking solution for the most part. And now I'm going to cry, so we have to stop. That's not the point.
He's a high school graduate, and he also, prior to his arrest, was working as a valet. He plans to continue doing that work when he is released. Your Honor, Mr. Williams has no felony convictions, and at this time he has been in for 90 days, so he is entitled to a bond. We would like to point out that basically the way that all of this unfolded was that Mr. Williams did appear before Judge Edwards in regards to these allegations. The state had put forth a motion to revoke his bond at that time. Judge Edwards declined to revoke his bond. She did not find that the facts presented by the state properly demonstrated that he was in violation of his bond. Your Honor, the state then promptly filed another bond motion that same day, and that bond motion is not scheduled to be heard until January of 2025. All that to say that indicates that if Judge Edwards is not concerned, with Mr. Williams being out on the bond that he originally has in that case, and understanding the nature of those charges being quite serious, we think that that does speak for the lack of evidence against Mr. Williams in this case. Further, at preliminary hearing, there were 2 additional charges that were dismissed due to a lack of evidence. And Your Honor, Mr. Williams, for all intents and purposes, was extremely compliant with the conditions of his ankle monitor. The allegations here are that he went to a music video shoot, and that's essentially what started all of this. However, as a condition of his bond, he was allowed to leave home for work. And he was getting paid to be present in that music video. And he did inform the bonding company, which did come out at prelim. He did inform, the ankle monitoring company that he was about to attend that engagement. So, Your Honor, we don't believe that these charges against Mr. Williams are appropriate. He is entitled to a bond at this point, and we do think that he should be granted a reasonable bond here, like was already stated. If there was a significant concern about Mr. Williams, Judge Edwards had every opportunity to revoke his bond. Further, Your Honor, we'd just like to point out that at the time Mr. Williams was arrested, he was actually attending court. He has attended all court dates as scheduled, so he is certainly not a flight risk. And when he did attend court that day, the state did not even provide the courtesy of allowing him to be allowing his attorney to be informed of the fact that these warrants existed. So he was arrested to his surprise at that hearing. that he attended, even though Judge Edwards declined to revoke his bond. So, Your Honor, we believe that a bond in this case of $15,000 is appropriate. If the court would like to, again, order an ankle monitor, Mr. Williams will certainly be compliant with that condition.
Mr. Jenkins?
Yes, we request that you deny defense counsel's motion at this time. Specifically, like many defendants, with the courtesy and the appreciation of having a bond in the first place on an allegation of a gang murder, what is he alleged to have done? That means tampered with the device and then associating with gang members in the courtroom. I can't think of a more disrespectful act given the court's graciousness in connection with granting him a bond in the first place in this matter, and then having the alleged conduct that is brought before this court. And so accordingly, Judge, we request that the bond be continued at no bond until the 90-day period, and in which time the bond should be set at $150,000 cash with no contact with any co-defendants in this case, with any victims in this matter, or victims' family members or witnesses, that he have no affiliation with any gangs, that he have no contact, no action with social media whatsoever in these matters, that he is under a 24-hour curfew. The only reason why he can come out if he can make $150,000 cash in this matter is for medical and court and attorney visits if necessary. And so that's our position. But until the 90-day period, he should not be entitled to bond because of his conduct and having the opportunity to already be on bond and not comply with the court order. Thank you, Judge.
So it's alleged in the warrants that he was tampering with it.
Yes.
Taking it apart, not that he was just out past the curfew.
Yes.
So no drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons, no replicas of weapons. Stay away from 440 Markham Street Southwest. No social media. No affiliating or associating with any known gang members, possible gang members, think they're a gang member, want to be a gang member, any gangs whatsoever. You'll have a 24-hour curfew, sir. You can only leave for court and to see your lawyer. That's the only reason you can leave your house, court and to see your lawyer. What's his position on paying for his own ankle monitor? Since he's taken one off, I'm not making the county pay for another one.
Well, Your Honor, if he's not going to be allowed to leave the house for work, I doubt he'll be able to afford the ankle monitor. And Your Honor, we would just posit again that these are allegations and that there was absolutely no explanation as to how Mr. Williams was tampering with the ankle monitor.
And he's going to live in Fulton County?
Yes, Your Honor.
$40,000 good bond. Best of luck to you, sir. All right, Mario Lemon.
And that concludes my business, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, ma'am. Have a
Thank you.
good evening.
Oh my God, do you know when you have a craving that overcomes you and you're like, I need pickles from Subway right now for some reason? What is that?
You too.
All right, so this is Mr. Mackey. This is position 4, Bostic 23, CP 219215. 138 days without indictment. As of June 9th, there's a $26,500 good bond on possession of firearm by a convicted felon, BGCSA, possession of controlled substance in Schedule 1 or 2 with intent to distribute. That's alleged fentanyl, 3.9 grams. Possession of drug-related objects, no insurance, and expired or no license plate or decal.
Second, you said lemon?
Uh-huh. It was on the add-on. It was from Tuesday, except for Mr. Mackey wasn't here.
I just bit my finger too hard by accident. Anyways, Regardless, shut up, Paisley. Keep going. Oh, peanut butter and pickles now sounds good, you guys. You ever had a shower orange? Try a shower orange. Eat an orange in the shower. It's very freeing. You can just let the juices flow all over you. Judge, you ever done that? That's a thing. You can Google that. Shower orange is like a trend. And thank you, Beverly.
There, Bostic, what you doing?
I'm not pregnant.
Talking and on mute.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. What is this case number end with? 215?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so he's in custody on another case. And I didn't put that case number down. He's in on a driving with a suspended license, reckless driving, and theft by receiving stolen property. 22 cycles, an old theft by shoplifting, 2013 controlled substance, and a simple battery in 2017 history or probation violations.
All right.
Yeah, he was arrested 7/1/24. Nothing further.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Mackey.
Thank you, Judge. And to by way of history of this case, originally Ms. Lemon was arrested on June the 8th of 2023, spent 24 days in jail before posting this bond. This is a $26,500 bond on this case. Was arrested on a different case 138 days ago. That case was dismissed at prelim for want of prosecution. So this is the only thing, this bond that was surrendered upon arrest for the other case is the only thing that is holding Ms. Lemon in the jail. Ms. Lemon has a history of substance abuse, got clean in 2012, and had some issues of recent. In the time intervening, almost a decade plus of sobriety, Ms. Lemon got her bachelor's of business arts and accounting degree from Savannah State in 2017, and then got a master's of accounting degree from Kennesaw State in 2018. Has been employed as an accounting jobs in pursuit of a certified public accountant license. Has had issues doing that based on aforementioned criminal history. Ms. Lemon does need substance abuse treatment, and we have made referrals to a couple different places. One at a place, Valor Recovery House, has been deemed to not be a perfect fit, so that is not going to be something that we're able to go for. But there is a organization called Someone Cares that provides substance abuse treatment and mental health treatment. My understanding, talking to my social worker this week, is that referral is pending, Your Honor. We are asking the court to consider reducing the bond here. Again, the only reason why Ms. Lemon is in custody is because she cannot afford to post this bail again. We're asking for the court to consider reducing it to a total of $5,000. If at such time we have approval on one of our referrals, then we can refer her to the bail project, who would be able to assist with the monetary component, provided that we have an address or someone somewhere for her to go.
Okay, so she doesn't have an address right now?
That's correct.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Jenkins.
Thank you, Judge. It appears that the reason for the bond surrender is his current indictment before Judge Edwards at 24 SC 003803 regarding an incident from June 29th of 2024. Maybe that's the reason, or a separate incident that I am not aware of in this case. But the defendant had a bond. The state has no objection to reinstating the bond as it was, the $26,500 good bond, probably with an echo monitor this time, and no further violations of the laws and any other terms and conditions the court deems appropriate. But the state would object and request that you deny defense counsel's motion for a bond reduction in this case. Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Mackey, what's
Shocking.
the
Hold
bond
on,
on the other case, the
Judge.
indicted case?
Let me mock him first for saying the same thing every time. Again, it gets fucking old. It means nothing. The boy who cried wolf comes to mind. The child who cried every time comes to mind. When you bitch every time the same level about somebody and their crimes, and again, guess what? There's a mechanism for this. It's called fucking indict them.
Well, there is no bond or anything holding her in jail on the other case because the warrants were dismissed at prelim. I understand that there's a subsequent indictment. The state has not sought any type of a grand jury arrest warrant or anything of that nature to hold her, and she continues on. I mean, this case that we're here for right now alleged to have occurred a year and almost a half ago without indictment.
Mr. Jenkins, sometimes I think when they're released, typically grand jury warrants are almost automatically issued. Is that?
It depends, Judge, and I don't have that. I can check into that, whether there is an actual bond on that matter. I don't believe there would be. There is not a grand jury warrant on it, and grand jury warrants need to be issued as a result, so he can technically turn himself in. But if he was on bond in this case and of the new matter regarding an offenses that occurred this year, then would be that would be the cause certainly for his bond surrender in his 23 CP case. And so I will check into that on this matter. I don't know what's going to happen if he able to make the bond or whatever you set it at and this indictment, but I don't believe it's actually holding him in the jail at the moment.
All right. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons, no replicas of weapons. Must supply an address where you're going to be living upon release. Stay away from 685 Holcomb Ridge Road in Roswell, Georgia. No driving unless you have valid license, insurance, tag. 3.9 grams of fentanyl. Maybe. Let's see. All right. So must supply that address upon release. 10,000, 10,000, 100, 250, and 500. Best of luck to you, ma'am. Thank you, Mr. Mackey.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. You can leave the booth. All right. Number Antonio Collins. All right. Number 6, Boston 23 CP 221385, 119 days without indictment. As of August the 15th, there's a $1,500 split bond, 2 counts of failure to register.
Oklahoma 1 count, Texas 2 counts, criminal trespass in 2020, Georgia 23 not counts, cycles. Georgia 23 cycles, FTA in 24 and 17, PI in 22, history of criminal trespass, drugs in 01, registry in 07. Is the underlying charge the PI in 22? No.
Looking at this thing, it looks like it's fine. I don't know.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
I'm checking this. I don't know what's going on here. Okay, this is Antonio Collins.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just Texas for a different case. I'm sorry about that. I think.
Right, failure to register, but
Who is
you don't have
he
to register
talking
with
to up there,
PI.
though? Who is fucking Buddy in the booth talking to, though? What the fuck is happening? You'd think I would have picked this out of the bunch. because I knew it was such a clusterfuck, but I didn't. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. At all.
Do you?
No, and the PI came
No.
after the first conviction for this charge. Where's the underlying?
Wait a minute, hold on. Okay, I don't see. No, it has not been declined on our.
Ms. Jones, you have any info?
To be
doesn't
honest,
look
I
like-
was also a little confused when I was looking it up. But it looks like it I from my understanding, and I'm new, so from my understanding, he was out and then he didn't register, I think.
Yeah, but what's the underlying case that he was
It's
supposed to?
saying CM in DeKalb in 03, Judge.
Oh, okay, that one. Okay. All right. All right, gotcha. All right, go ahead, Ms. Jones.
Okay, Mr. Collins, he's 45 years old. He's lived in Georgia his whole life. He has a good address here. He told me earlier today that he's a veteran and he completed trade school in Kentucky. He did want me to mention to you, Judge, that his phone, he didn't have his phone at the time. It was stolen, or he would have been where he was supposed to be in order to complete the requirements of his registration. But that he promises he'll be where he is supposed to be going forward. And the bond is 1,500 right now. I would be requesting on Mr. Collins' behalf a UJR. He hasn't been able to make the bond up to this point, and we're unable to get him through the bail project. So we would just request a UJR.
So, Ms. Jones, I just got a question. I'm not sure about not having a phone, what that had to do with it, because you register 72 hours before your birthday. He knows what his birthday is, so.
He was explaining to me that wherever he was supposed to be, he couldn't get there. I'm not sure if he was unable to find his way or what the problem was, but he just said that prevented him from being where he needed to be.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Jenkins.
Just briefly, Judge, being that his bond is at is this total bond at 1.5 at 1,500?
It is, and somebody put UJR level 3 for one of the counts.
Is it even eligible?
Erica's eligible because she just put through her late fee. Thank you, Erica. You're making me so happy with just a little late fee. Thank you. Seriously, and welcome. We are having quite a nice Sunday. I hope you are also having a nice Sunday. This case seems a little bit of a cluster, but what the judge just said there made sense. If everybody has to register 72 hours before your birthday, you don't forget when your birthday is. Usually. Mine's March 25th. Woo!
Let's
I
see.
actually don't think it's one of those restricted charges. I don't recall seeing it on there.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of these offenses. Judge, if that's the case, then we request that the bond stay as is, but we'll leave it in your discretion, Your Honor.
Do you have family, Miss Jones?
He does not have family in the area.
He has 2 counts?
Yeah,
I only see one on his booking.
there's 2 on the bond order, 2 on the calendar. Maybe that's why she did one through pretrial. All right, no drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons, no replicas of weapons. Must register within 24 hours of being released, so we'll leave the first one at UJR through pretrial level 3. And then on count 2, we'll do it 1,000 cash, good bond, or through the sheriff's 10% program. Best of luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Last one, Ms. Guest. Thank you, Ms. Jones. Billy Williams.
Billy
All right, Mr. Williams,
Williams. Billy. Thank you, Naybell. 6 months of support. Thank you so much. Where is my camera? Why can't I turn it on? There it is. And I did. Thank you so much. And, okay, here we go. Last case. Remember when girls used to get little mustaches tattooed on their fingers? Oh, the 2000s was an early, weird time.
It's number 4, Bostic. All right, number 4, 24 PI 006040, 88 days without indictment, no bond as of August the 20th on aggravated assault and aggravated battery. Pre-trial.
Billy Williams, 14 cycles of felonies are owed 08 and 02 for drugs out of out of Georgia. California, 2 cycles. There's an open misdemeanor 24 CR 0058. 4B, a simple battery against a police officer. Nothing further.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Guest.
Yes, Your Honor. I actually have been in contact with Mr. Williams, state court attorney, and I believe that case in state court will be resolved here soon. Mr. Williams, as you stated, Your Honor, has been in custody for 88 days unless the state plans to indict his case over the weekend. By the 17th of this month, which is a Sunday, he would have been in custody for 88 days, and he still has not had a bond on these 2 charges before the court. Ms. Williams is 45 years old and does have a valid address where he plans to reside. That is going to be in Villa Rica, Georgia, Your Honor. So he has no issues with staying out of Fulton County if the court is inclined to implement any of the stay away orders. He's originally from the Las Vegas area, but has been in Atlanta for a little over, in Georgia for a little over a year. He does reside at this Villa Rica address with his sister. Prior to this incident, he was working odd and end jobs, but obviously, Your Honor, he has been in custody for over 90 days, but does believe that if he gets the opportunity to get a bond, he would be able to go back and gain some type of employment. He received a GED in 1998. He does suffer from some MH issues, Your Honor. So I would ask that if the court is inclined to grant Mr. Williams a bond today, that he's going to be able to be released with the Medicaid, a 30-day supply of the medication that he's currently taking within Fulton County, Your Honor. I would ask whether or not the state has had the opportunity to make any contact with the alleged victim in this case, Your Honor. We do understand the charges. Mr. Williams is presumed innocent. He just wants the opportunity to get a bond so he can be outside of custody while he's trying to fight these charges, Your Honor.
Ms. Rhodes, any contact with the victim?
No, Your Honor, we left a voicemail.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Jenkins.
Yes, thank you, Judge. We request that at this time that his bond stay in no bond status until the 19th, in which time we would request that you set the bond at $100,000 cash for each charge for a total of $200,000 cash with the following conditions: that he certainly be banned from Fulton County, that he have absolutely no contact with the alleged victim in this matter, that he has no further violations of the law, that if he's taking any type of mental health or medications or whatever, that he'd be required to do so if he should make bond. In addition, he has 2 felony convictions out of DeKalb County, 08 CR 2038 for possession of cocaine in 2008, and a 2011 conviction, 11 CR 5882 for possession of firearm but by a convicted felon, also in DeKalb County, and then some outer state convictions as stated by pretrial or contact with law enforcement. in this matter. Unfortunately, while these are allegations of crime, this is a severe crime of violence. As you can see, an aggravated battery charge and the allegations in the warrant in this case. And so he's certainly a danger, we believe, to the community. He's certainly a danger to the victim in this case. And as such, we request that bond, Judge. Thank you.
And I would just like the opportunity to briefly reply. I actually didn't state what we would be requesting as far as bond is concerned. We're asking for a bond not to exceed $10,000 on the aggravated assault and $5,000 on the aggravated battery. Any cash bond would theoretically make it impossible for Mr. Williams to be out of custody on charges that, one, have not been indicted, and two, that he still is presumed innocent of, Your Honor. I was the attorney at the preliminary hearing. I don't believe the DA that's on the call today was the DA that day, but I do know that this was an isolated incident. Mr. Williams does not know this individual, so there's no threat to reoffend or to have any issues with the alleged victim, Your Honor, as Mr. Williams does not plan to return back to this bank, does not plan to return back to Fulton County where the incident occurred, Your Honor. So we don't believe that he poses any significant danger to this alleged victim, Your Honor. We would just ask that, since Mr. Williams is presumed innocent of these charges, and as of today, unless his case is going to get indicted over the weekend, he still has not been indicted on these charges at 88 days, that the court does place a reasonable bond on Mr. Williams that he would actually be able to make.
All right, no drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons, no replicas of weapons. Stay away from 1075 Peachtree Street in Atlanta, Georgia. No further contact with Michael Bolton. You're going to have a 24-hour curfew, sir, court, lawyer, and medical. And just send me that order to release him with a 30-day supply of his medication. And sir, you're going to stay out of Fulton County. The only reason you darken the doors of Fulton County is court or to see your lawyer. Absolutely no reason to come back to Fulton County, court or to see your lawyer. That's it. Get snacks before you get here. Fill up with gas. Don't run out of gas. Don't stop at Chick-fil-A. Don't do any of that. All right. Let's see. Making my notes. All right, 75,000 and 75,000. Best of luck to you, sir. You can leave the booth. Thank you, Ms. Guest.
Yes, Your Honor, and that concludes our matters with the court. I think that everyone's excused, if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now I'm headed to the Pink concert.
Everybody have a good day.
All right, you too.
Whoa! We need to decipher that. She's heading to what concert? Y'all, listen up. Figure out what concert this is.
And that concludes our matters with the court. I think that everyone's excused, if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now I'm headed to the Pink concert.
Everybody have a good day.
All right, you too.
Take care.
Pink! A Pink
Everything,
concert!
Mr. Dukes.
Yep, got everything, Judge.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Judge went to the Pink concert. I want to go to a Pink concert. Oh, you know, irresponsible Paisley was thinking about an impromptu trip to Vegas for her birthday. I don't know how good of an idea that would be. Anyways, I can't think too much about it, but I hope that you guys had a nice evening. I appreciate you. Don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow with fresh court, fresh things to watch. We're going to be doing it together. As always, thanks again, Vicky. I appreciate your help. And everybody, I appreciate each and every one of you. Do me a favor, remember that. Mike, we love you too. Remember that I love you. And I'm proud of you, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, bye. I said bye.